Hey guys, welcome to the English lesson of Harriet Tubman. Okay, so this might be our last person that we're going to be learning about for Black History Month, and we're going to do a review on Friday. Okay, you need your sheet of paper for Harriet Tubman. Okay, Harriet Tubman is a great hero to learn from. She was a very brave woman that you're going to see a very interesting video about, okay? She was a slave that escaped from slavery. Okay, I'm going to show you something, a word here. She escaped in the Underground Railroad. Okay, the Underground Railroad. Say that with me. Underground Railroad. The Underground Railroad was a system set up of people around the United States that would help slaves escape slavery. Why would they escape slavery? Because esclavitude was horrible. There they were, like I told you yesterday with Sojourner Truth, sold like they were propiedad. People made to be slaves instead of being treated like humans, like they were their mascotas or their caballos or something like that. And Harriet Tubman had a husband, and she had heard that she was going to be sold to another slave owner. Well, before that happened, she decided, no, that's it. I'm going to escape. And she did at night. She escaped slavery. However, she didn't stop there. After she escaped successfully, she decided she was going to dedicate her life to helping other slaves escape through the Underground Railroad. Underground because it was escondido. Okay? So she would go back at night to different slave owners, and she would help thousands of slaves escape. She put her own life in riesgo. She could have just been contenta that she had escaped, but no. She decided to risk her own life helping other slaves escape. She is a great hero. A great hero. So Sojourner Truth dedicated her life to teach other people about how bad slavery was so that they could abolish it and get rid of it. Harriet Tubman was out there helping them escape out of slavery until it was taken out of the United States. Okay? I'm going to show you a really nice quote from her about how every dream starts with a dreamer. What does that mean? That means you have to think big. Remember, some of you guys know that I used to have a sign in our classroom that says, dream big. Yo creo ustedes that you guys can do anything God wants you to do in life. Each of you have a llamada. Each of you have a propósito. Each of you, God has said, Kiana's going to grow up and do this. Salma's going to grow up and do this. Oscar's going to grow up and do this. Frankie's going to grow up and do this. Ethan's going to grow up and do this. Jayla's going to grow up and do this. Holly, Fernanda, Andres, Kiara, Safir, Dueno, Danielito. Every single one of you guys. Scarlett, right? Abiel. Are all going to grow up and do a certain propósito that God has for your life. Mario, you too, right? God has called us all to a propósito. If I just didn't mention somebody's name, forgive me, okay? But we have to dream big. We have to believe that God can do something big in our lives, and we have to obey Him to do it. And that is what Harriet Tubman did, okay? So learn about her. Write down the quote, okay? Write a story about her on the back with 8 renglones, and then come back and we're going to do Escritura and our spelling activity.
Today we're going to learn about the famous abolitionist, Harriet Tubman. Born into slavery, Harriet Tubman escaped to freedom as a young woman. Once free herself, she became determined to free her family and anyone else that she could. She returned many times to the South, guiding hundreds to freedom along the secret network called the Underground Railroad. In fact, she led so many out of slavery that Harriet became known as the Moses of her people. She also served in the Union Army during the Civil War as a cook, nurse, scout, and spy. Harriet Tubman was born sometime around 1820. Even she may not have known exactly when, and named Araminta Ross. Both of her parents were slaves, living and working on a large plantation in Maryland. The couple had 9 children, 3 of which were sold and sent away while Harriet was young. Even as a small child, Harriet had to work hard. When she was only 5 or 6 years old, she was sent to a plantation house to help take care of a baby. If the baby woke up and cried, Harriet was whipped. As she grew older, she worked in the fields and forests, plowing and driving oxen. She always looked for ways to resist, once running away for 5 days, and other times wearing thick layers of clothing to soften the beatings. When she was about 12 years old, Harriet was accidentally hit in the head with a heavy iron weight, after refusing to help punish another slave who had gone to the store without permission. The blow knocked her unconscious and left a deep scar. She also suffered seizures, headaches, and other problems from it for the rest of her life. In 1844, she married a free black man, John Tubman. It was around this time that Araminta Ross changed her name to Harriet for her mother, and Tubman, her husband's last name. In 1849, Harriet heard that she was going to be sold and decided to escape. Her husband refused to leave, so she went with 2 of her brothers. Her brothers changed their minds and turned back, but Harriet pushed on towards Philadelphia and freedom. She traveled by night to avoid slave catchers, following the North Star, and guided along the Underground Railroad. After traveling nearly 90 miles on foot, she reached Pennsylvania. She said, "When I found I had crossed that line, I looked at my hands to see if I was the same person. There was such a glory over everything. The sun came like gold through the trees and over the fields, and I felt like I was in heaven." Safe in Philadelphia, Harriet began to think of her family. She wanted them to be free, too. Beginning in 1850, Harriet Tubman returned to Maryland over and over again to lead enslaved family members and friends to freedom. In 1851, she went back for her husband, but he had married another woman and did not want to go with her. Harriet had to be clever to avoid being caught. She usually went to rescue slaves during the winter, when the nights were long and dark and people stayed inside. When she had a group of slaves ready to escape, they were careful not to leave until Saturday night. The newspaper could not publish runaway notices until Monday morning, giving them a better head start. Once, when she was about to be recognized by a former owner, Harriet grabbed a newspaper and pretended to read it. Since everyone knew that she couldn't read, he ignored her. On one of her last missions, Harriet rescued her parents. Although they had both been freed, they were in danger of being arrested for helping slaves escape. Harriet led them to Canada, where they were reunited with other friends and family members that she had led to freedom. Because of her quick thinking, Harriet was never captured, and neither were the people she was helping to escape. "I was conductor of the Underground Railroad for 8 years, Harriet said, and I can say what most conductors can't say. I never ran my train off the track, and I never lost a passenger." As the Civil War neared, Harriet stopped going to the South to rescue slaves. Instead, she helped soldiers and escaped slaves as a nurse, and later as the leader of a band of scouts and a spy. In 1863, Harriet Tubman became the first woman to lead an armed assault in the Civil War, in a riverboat raid that freed more than 750 slaves. After the Confederacy surrendered in 1865, Harriet returned home to a property she had purchased in New York. In 1869, Harriet was married for the second time to a Civil War veteran named Nelson Charles Davis. Together, they adopted a baby girl and lived together as a family until Davis died in 1888. Despite all her accomplishments, Harriet was poor. Friends came together to help support her. One woman, Sarah Hopkins Bradford, wrote 2 biographies of Harriet Tubman's life in an attempt to raise some money for her. Eventually, Harriet was awarded a government pension for her service during the Civil War as a nurse. In her later years, she began to promote women's suffrage. She was once asked if she thought women should have the right to vote, and she replied, "I've suffered enough to believe it." Harriet Tubman died of pneumonia in 1913, around the age of 90. She was buried with semi-military honors at the Fort Hill Cemetery in Auburn, New York. Today, Harriet Tubman is remembered as an American icon. She has been commemorated with statues. Many schools have been named in her honor, and she was the first African-American woman honored on a postage stamp. In 2013, President Barack Obama approved the creation of the Harriet Tubman Underground Railroad National Monument in Maryland. I hope you enjoyed learning about Harriet Tubman today. Goodbye till next time.
Okay, here we go. Let's say our words again. Make sure that you copy them on that side right there. Okay, so you're practicing them. Here we go. Spot. S-P-O-T, spot. Joke. Remember what joke is in English? In Spanish, broma. J-O-K-E, joke. Rock. R-O-C-K, rock. Hole. H-O-L-E, hole. Moth. M-O-T-H, moth. Hose. H-O-S-E, hose. Stop. S-T-O-P, stop. Home. H-O-M-E, home. Chop. C-H-O-P, chop. Hope. H-O-P-E, hope. Drop. D-R-O-P, drop. Stove. S-T-O-V-E, stove. Stock. S-T-O-C-K, stock. Broke. B-R-O-K-E, broke. Clock. C-L-O-C-K, clock. Those. T-H-O-S-E, those. Shop. S-H-O-P, shop. Spoke. S-P-O-K-E, spoke. Okay, here we go. And then we're going to learn our Q today. You need your Q piece of paper. Be careful with Q. You know that the capital Q looks like a what? A 2, doesn't it? Okay, so let me make sure I can get in a position to where I don't mess this up. I see it looks exactly like a 2, right? But that is your Q. And then the lowercase q, you guys, looks like a G. But look at it carefully. This is a G. Right? With the loop in front. But a Q is with the loop in the back. Okay, the loop in the back. So let me erase this, and then we'll work on our capital Q and our lowercase q. Be careful. I see what I did there. I put the oyo, the hole, right where the Q for quality is. No significa that we're writing quality. We're still writing quality. So make sure that you pay attention to that. Here we go. Our uppercase, our capital Q, looks like that, right? Just make a fancy 2. And then our lowercase is a backward G. You can even make it with the connecting line there. Backward G. Make sure the loop goes on the back side. Okay, so the word is quality. Can you see me? Yes, you can. You never have to lift your hand. Now, if Michelle can do this holding a whiteboard, I know you don't have to lift your hand. Make sure you dot your I's. Make sure you cross your T's, okay? The other word is quantity. Pay attention. That's not the same word right there. Quantity. Okay, cross all your T's, dot all your I's. Got it? Okay, then remember, let's do our P again. These are super easy, right? Capital P looks like that. Lowercase p looks like that. Capital P, lowercase p. Bada bing, bada boom. You guys can do this. You're doing them nice. Now, hey, let me give you a little animo to really try on your letras de molde. You guys remember down here you need to be writing in letras de molde, normal letters. Some of you guys are writing a little crazy. Okay, I know you guys can write well. Write controlled, write well, don't just write whatever, okay? And if you have a question about what one of the letters is, let me know, because some of you guys are just inventing or just skipping the part that you don't know. That's not going to help you translate it, okay? There you go. Thank you guys. Have a great day. Thanks for working hard.